India has long been known as a hub for technology and innovation, with a booming startup culture and a rapidly growing economy. But with success comes a downside, the brain drain. In recent years, we've seen a trend of Indian CEOs leaving their home country to lead some of the biggest companies in America. Sundar Pichai, CEO of Google; Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft; Indra Nooyi, former CEO of PepsiCo. These are just a few of the Indian CEOs who have made a name for themselves in America. But what does this mean for India? India is facing a shortage of skilled professionals, with many of the brightest minds leaving the country in search of better opportunities abroad. Silicon Valley has become a hub for innovation, attracting some of the best and brightest from around the world. But with so many Indian CEOs leading these companies, what does this mean for the future of Indian innovation? India has the potential to be a leader in innovation, with world-class universities and research centers. But without the talent to lead these efforts, will India fall behind? It's not just about the CEOs leaving India. It's about the entire ecosystem. We need more investment in research and development, more funding for startups, and more opportunities for young people to succeed. Otherwise, we'll continue to lose our best and brightest to other countries. While these Indian CEOs have found success in America, many are still connected to their roots in India. They continue to invest in Indian startups and mentor young entrepreneurs, giving back to the country that gave them their start. Brain drain is a common phenomenon in developing countries, where talented professionals seek better opportunities abroad. However, this trend can have serious consequences for the country of origin. The loss of skilled professionals can lead to a shortage of talent in critical sectors, hindering economic growth and development. India has been a hotbed for tech startups in recent years, with companies like Flipkart, Ola, and Zomato making waves in the global market. However, the brain drain could stifle the growth of these startups, as the talent pool becomes increasingly scarce. As an entrepreneur in India, I see the brain drain as a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it creates opportunities for me to attract talent from abroad. But on the other hand, it makes it harder for me to retain talent, as my employees are constantly being courted by companies in the US. Many Indian professionals who move to the US for better opportunities still feel a connection to their homeland. They often return to India to invest in startups or give back to the community. For me, it's important to give back to India, the country that gave me my start. I invest in Indian startups and mentor young entrepreneurs to help create the next generation of innovators. While the brain drain may present a challenge for India, there are opportunities for the country to benefit from the success of its diaspora. Indian professionals in Silicon Valley have formed a tight-knit community, with networks and resources that can be leveraged to benefit India's startup ecosystem. We're always looking for ways to give back to India. We formed a network of Indian entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley, and we're constantly sharing resources and opportunities to help our home country grow. India has a rich tradition of innovation, and with the right investments and opportunities, the country can retain its brightest minds and build a brighter future for the next generation of innovators. To address the brain drain issue, Indian policymakers have launched several initiatives to encourage talented professionals to stay in the country and invest in the domestic economy. The government is committed to creating a supportive environment for innovation and entrepreneurship. We're investing in research and development, offering tax incentives for startups, and providing funding for incubators and accelerators. These initiatives have already started to bear fruit, with a growing number of Indian startups attracting global investors and creating jobs for the domestic economy. Indian startup founders are becoming increasingly confident in the country's entrepreneurial ecosystem, with many choosing to stay and build their businesses in India. I believe India has enormous potential for innovation and growth. I want to be a part of that, to create jobs and make a positive impact in my country. As the startup ecosystem in India continues to mature, there is hope that the country can reverse the brain drain and attract back some of its brightest talent. In recent years, we've seen a growing trend of Indian professionals returning to India after working abroad. They bring with them valuable skills and experience, and a desire to make a difference in their home country. I worked in the US for several years, but I always knew that I wanted to come back to India. I believe in the potential of the country, and I want to contribute to its growth. The brain drain may be a challenge for India, but it's also an opportunity to build a stronger, more vibrant entrepreneurial ecosystem. With the right investments and initiatives, India can retain its brightest minds and create a brighter future for all its citizens. To gain more insight into the brain drain issue, we have gathered a panel of Indian CEOs of American companies. We know that as Indian CEOs of American companies, you have a unique perspective on the brain drain issue. How do you see this affecting the growth of the Indian economy? The brain drain is definitely a challenge for India, as it means we are losing some of our best talent to other countries. However, I think we need to look at this as an opportunity to build stronger ties between India and the rest of the world. I agree. We need to create an environment in India that fosters innovation and entrepreneurship, so that our brightest minds can stay and build their businesses here. I also think it's important to acknowledge that the brain drain is not just a one-way street. Many Indian professionals who work abroad return to India with valuable skills and experience, and they can make a big impact on the domestic economy. That's a great point. What do you think can be done to encourage more Indian professionals to return to India after working abroad? I think the government can play a big role in this by creating incentives for professionals to return to India. This could include tax breaks, funding for startups, and other initiatives that make it easier for them to build their businesses here. I also think we need to do a better job of showcasing the opportunities that exist in India. Many Indian professionals may not be aware of the exciting developments happening in the country, and we need to do a better job of highlighting these to attract them back. I think the key is to focus on your strengths and build a unique value proposition. Indian startups have the advantage of being able to tap into the country's diverse talent pool and market opportunities, and they need to leverage these to differentiate themselves from their competitors. Another important factor is to focus on creating a strong company culture that attracts and retains top talent. If you can build a company that people want to work for, you'll be able to attract the best and brightest in the industry. It's clear that the brain drain is a complex issue, but with the right initiatives and investments, India can retain its brightest minds and build a brighter future for all its citizens. The brain drain may be a challenge for India, but with the right investments and opportunities, we can turn this trend around and create a brighter future for the next generation of Indian innovators.